This
everyone
conference will now be
to,
recorded.
hold on one moment, get the phone call. Okay. And anyway, it's 5:31. We're waiting for a couple of people, I think, but why don't we start with an approval of the meeting, the minutes from the December 8th meeting. So do we have a motion for approval of those minutes?
One second.
I wasn't there, so I don't know if I can approve.
Yeah, I think Randy first, I'll second.
Okay, Randy first, Mark seconded. Any discussion? I'll just say, is anyone opposed? Okay, hi, Brian.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Any opposition to that motion? Then that passes. So Mary, why don't you give us an update of economic development?
Sure. So the first the first thing I had on here kind of falls under Stratford Strong as well, but it's our Connecticut Cares. That was the bridge stimulus package of $5,000 for small businesses that was supposed to have been all completed and checks out by the end of the year. They've extended it to January 15th. So we have told all our businesses that if they have not heard yet, they may still, and they should still be checking their spam and their emails for notification. We are very curious to know who did and didn't get it. We do know of more that didn't get it because when they don't get it, they let us know. So the DECD did say that within 2 weeks of the January 15th deadline, we should be getting an Excel spreadsheet by town of everyone that applied and got it. So we'll be interested in hearing that, especially the people that didn't get it, so we can reach out to them.
Why wouldn't they have gotten it? Do you know?
Well,
Why would they have
one of the issues has been that the SoFi, the financial company that they went through, their declination letter provided 5 different reasons it could have been. So we called DECD and we said, can they find out why they didn't get it, even if they have no recourse to reapplying, just so they know. And they said no, there was no way to do that, and they didn't even know why. Lindy Gold, who I spoke with, did say that if they could check, because if people were with their taxes, state, local, that they would be declined, and people could go check that. And the businesses that we spoke to that did not get it, we only spoke to a couple, that was not the reason, but they didn't know why. And I think it's hard for them not to know, their neighbor next door got it and they don't know why they didn't get it. And $5,000 was really kind of a lifesaver for a lot of these businesses.
Was that was it a first come, first served thing?
It was. However, we had DECD reaching out to us literally the day of the deadline. As a distressed community, they said, please, we need to hear from more of our distressed communities, because they were allocating 25 million, 50% to those communities, and they hadn't heard from enough of those businesses. So I tend to hesitate to think that anybody from Stratford was because they ran out. They're still seeking people to apply literally that day.
Well, we should look at the spreadsheet and find out what happened there, right?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely share. Yeah, well, I think we'll look at it, and I think rather than giving names, we'll share with you percentages and, any other information. I don't know that we can actually share the businesses themselves that didn't get it or did get it, but we will share numbers and percentages as soon as hopefully we'll be able to do that at the February meeting. And then the CDBG, micro enterprise grants, I can give you just the figures, but Karen Doyle can add to anything that I've left out. We've received 40 applications from small businesses, and what happens is Karen looks through them and reviews the application to make sure it's filled out and all, and then forwards them. She forwarded 24 to our community development administrator, Chris Bandecki, and then Chris goes and reviews them. And he has found that all of the ones he's looked at so far, which it's probably a quarter of the ones that, or a third of the ones that Karen has sent, have had issues with their taxes in arrears. And you cannot get a CDBG grant if you have any tax issues. So we're trying to work with them, tell them if they want to go back and pay, they can resubmit. So we're trying to work as much as possible with all these businesses that are applying. Karen, do you have anything to add on the CDBG?
Hey, Mary, I don't have anything to add other than when we find out that our small businesses are delinquent on their taxes, we're trying to reach out to them and let them know that they have to reach out to the tax assessor and get into a better standing. And once they're in a better standing, then we can continue to review their applications. And it's interesting because a lot of these business owners are not just in arrears in Stratford, they also have car payments in Bridgeport, or taxes in Bridgeport that they have to figure out. So it's kind of bigger picture than we thought it would be, but we're doing everything that we can to help them out.
Yeah, and you know, I think the hard thing about the Connecticut CARES not going through for people was that was an easy one compared to CDBG, because CDBG is HUD. So there's certain criteria and there's no getting around it. People have to follow. So it's a little more difficult, but hopefully some of these businesses will, we can work with them and see it through. Center School, we had two, actually, now three different developers that have expressed an interest in presenting their a development of the site. None of those responded to our RFPs that we sent out, either one of them. So on January 26th, RDA has their meeting, and we are devoting 15 minutes for two different presenters to present what their ideas are, and time for Q&A, and then we will, the meeting will be a little longer than usual because then we have regular business that we have to attend to. So George Perm and I have a phone conversation with a third developer. I think we have a call scheduled for Thursday morning. So we'll see where that goes, if they would like to present to RDA as well. And it might be difficult to do it that night, but maybe we'll do it another evening. And contract plating, I know I mentioned that we received a marketing plan from the group that pro bono did it for us after the Brownfield conference presentation. Kelly and I are planning in the next week or so to go through the marketing plan, update it, look at it, and present it to the RDA latest at the February meeting, and then send it out and market the property. And we're very excited about it. EPA needs to know certain things, what type of occupancy, so they know what kind of capping they need to do. So it's one of those situations where we really need someone that has experience with brownfield, so they understand that it's not quite done yet, but in order to put in the lines, the sewer lines, and understand the capping, we kind of need to have an idea of what type of occupancy will be there. Army Engine, the stewardship permit came through for our review, and the ROD, the record of decision, should be out between either this month or February. And once that happens, the mudflat the mud flat cleanup can begin, the dredging, and within 6 months of the record of decision going out, the Army and the developer must come to an agreement on the upland. So there is an end in sight. I think any questions? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do, Marianne. A couple of things. I'm sorry. On contract plating, we ran out of money on that, right?
We did. So we need $1 million more.
Okay.
And DECD has indicated that there is a shot that we will get that money if we can market the property and they can see that, you know, there's a development in sight for the property. And we continue,
So-
you know, MetroCog, Kelly, Greg Riley, we're applying for different grants that, you know, 250,000 here and on the property. But yeah, it's so that's why.
Chicken and the egg kind of thing. Which
Yeah.
goes first?
Yeah,
Now,
but the
at what point in time in the process does the developer get engaged with this? I lost track of that.
So if we put it out to market and the developer comes back, they will get engaged immediately. So depending on who does it, they may be willing to do the additional remediation. They may, we may get the additional funds from DECD and they will start the process of what they're going to have there and working with EPA as to the capping, et cetera. So as we've been told by these, you know, experts, they're from Kansas State University. There are developers that they do this all the time. They have expertise in this, and that's why they said doing just a local broker is not the way to go on this at all, because contract plating is painful.
Yeah. On AFCO, or Army Engine Plant, same question. There's going to be a notice of decision forthcoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
And Ted and I are talking weekly, and we have interest in the buildings. We have a significant amount of interest.
Still in place, right?
Pardon?
We have that. The development team that's been on board forever, they're still in place, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do the mud flats get cleaned up first before they take title to the property? I lost
No, that
track
can
of
all
it.
happen in conjunction, because the mud flats can begin, but then they're dredging and the materials go on the property, right, that they take out. And then if it's decided that the buildings will all be demolished, then that material can be used to cap and to bring it up to FEMA specified elevation.
At what point in time are the developers have to step up and take title?
Within 6 months of the record of decision.
Sorry?
Within 6 months of the record of decision coming out.
Oh, thank you.
That's why there really is an end in sight. A beginning in sight, I should say.
Yeah. Thanks. I didn't mean to hold you up, but I lost track of what's going on.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
No, that's okay. That's what I'm here for, to answer questions on it. These are big projects and they're really important. So Shakespeare, I think I reported on this last month. I'm losing track, but I think I did, because we had a special meeting RDA December 3rd. They were very impressed with the report that the subcommittee gave. And then that's why we're going to have a full agenda at the next RDA meeting, because after the 2 presentations, the Shakespeare property will be one of the items that will be on the agenda. And the subcommittee, the RDA did indicate that they have a strong feeling that whatever RFP goes out should be closely aligned to the subcommittee report, because they thought it was so thorough. Randy, if you want to add anything to that, please do.
They've done a terrific job. I mean, there's all kinds of clarity. I think this is going to be a successful conclusion.
And then the complete streets, that is along. They working on a 60% design. The mayor has signed both letters that need to go out to the Federal Highway Authority to approve of the bike lanes. Public Works had to send a letter approving. They've done that. The only thing that has to be a sign of approval is from our local traffic authority. And they were supposed to meet December. They did meet early December and gave their recommendations. They were supposed to meet December 17th. And of course, that was the one big snowstorm we had. So I believe they're meeting next week just to sign off. And then we can, we'll send it along to DOT after that. So that's very exciting. And
Mary,
it's finally coming to fruition. What?
What's the territory for that? How far does that cover?
So that is in the center of town, and they've decided that the bike lane is going to end at Town Hall for the first, this is just the first segment of Complete Streets, because it will go further, rather than to the corner of Barnum and Main, because the way that the bike lanes were going to work and abruptly end, they were concerned about the traffic in that corner, so in that area. So it was recommended that the bike lane end at the town hall.
And then it goes
495. Oh, go ahead.
it goes past the it goes the other way by the train station, past through there. And how
Yes.
far that direction?
It goes to, I think, Harvey Street. I can actually send you, I'll have Susmitha send you a map to show you.
I think it might be good for the commission to see the map, at least just to see what's on the agenda. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. Then you can see what's being sent to DOT. And then 495 Lordship Boulevard, again, I think I had mentioned this. They are going to be they are marketing it now. As a matter of fact, we have one business in town that was interested in it, taking up 150,000 in space, but the GFI, the owner, indicated they really want to fill the 360,000 square feet with one occupant if they can. So assuming, large distribution, they are probably going to be going for their permit with the town any day now. Parkway Plaza, that's over where Riders Landing is. They submitted the Starbucks to the Starbucks plan to the Architectural Review Board, and they're planning to go before zoning in January, and to have that built by 2022. And they do have a really signature waterfront plan for that development moving forward. They're looking for plans for an upscale restaurant with retail and hospitality. It'll promote tourism, education, because they have the Merritt Parkway Museum there. They'll connect the Sikorsky Bridge bikeway and walkway to their development. And they're going to encourage pedestrian and recreational use. The improvements on Route 110 have greatly enhanced that whole area there. So we're looking forward to hearing about that, and hopefully that starting in 2022. Ross and Roberts, the broker has indicated that he thinks that something will come up in the next couple of weeks. He couldn't say anything too soon. I hope so. We've heard that before. we've heard of a few different occupants that were close to developing that property, and it's never come through. So I'm looking forward to this time being different. So we'll see. It's a great piece of property. Hudson Paper, which abuts it, it has had a significant amount of interest in that location as well. 11 Old South is the old Kramer's property that the town took in foreclosure. I'm losing track of time, but I think it was in August. We have cleaned up the oily drums. We've requested, submitted a grant for assessment of the property. We're waiting on that. That might not happen quickly. And then,
Did I get you just the whole cost in, honey?
No, it
I'm
doesn't
sorry?
cost you.
Okay, all right. You said just okay.
I'm sorry, I don't know if someone was asking me a question or if that was background noise. So we are looking at talking to RDA about, once the tires are removed, putting it on the market. We've had a significant amount of interest in this property. Like at least a half dozen people have reached out to me. And if we put it on the market, we would do a reverter clause, Randy, like we did with Wade.
Yep.
With Wade's Garage, so that whoever purchase it has to agree to go into the state's brownfield program. It's funny because if you ever saw this piece of property, but so many people are interested in it. And I think that's it in terms of properties. We have ribbon cuttings coming up. Karen Sportini, I know we have Knott's Landing storage facility. They believe they're going to be opening on the 18th around there, and are looking for something on the 25th. And Connecticut Braces, remember where the that bank was on the corner of Main Street, the brick bank? That's going to be opening up, and they're planning a ribbon cutting on the 26th. Karen, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about how we're handling our ribbon cuttings right now.
Sure. So for now, we have a long list of folks who we traditionally invite to ribbon cuttings, and that includes you folks as well. But in our COVID safe world, we've had to make some concessions, and rather than, there were a couple that we had to postpone. We, kind of maybe a business that backed out because of COVID. But right now, going forward, as long as things, assuming most of them are taking place inside, there is just a very reduced number of invitees. So, for instance, the one that's going to be taking place at the storage facility, the Erstett Biddle down at Knott's Landing, I think we had maybe 7 or 8 folks on that list, and that would be, the state representative, the councilman in that district, and the mayor, of course. And we look forward to the day in the not too distant future when we can invite all again, and we can all celebrate those together. So that's where we stand for right now.
Yes, if they're outside, it's different. We can invite more, but it's so cold. A lot of them it's difficult to have them outside. One of the other things I wanted to touch upon is the new round of stimulus that has come out. Just actually, we were notified on Friday that it was coming out on Monday. And we had, previous to the Friday, we had reached out to all our businesses and said, this is a new stimulus package. Contact your bank, get ready for the PPP. You've done it before, SBA, all that. And then Karen found out new information today. Karen, if you want to talk about that.
Yes. So for the first wave of the applicants that was supposed to take place yesterday up until Wednesday, there are only 2 lending institutions in the state that have been approved for this, New Haven Bank and the Nutmeg Federal Credit Union. I understand that could change. Hopefully other lenders will be approved, perhaps after tomorrow, when the second wave of applicants are are welcome, but we were kind of disheartened. I really don't know how that's going to factor into things. We did also learn about a new Jen, you're with Sophie, right? Sophie? I'm sorry.
Me?
I always
No, they are our competitor. I'm not
oh,
with
okay.
SoFi.
Okay, but you are with the lending. Okay, well, forgive me.
Yes, yes, Laurel Road. Laurel Road.
Okay, okay. There's a relatively new organization called Lantern, and I believe what they do, it's my understanding that they work with applicants and hook them up with appropriate lending institutions. So this is information that we will be sharing to folks who call the office. Um, it's very new. It was just reopened yesterday, so um, we'll see how folks do with it with the new round of PPP.
And then there's another stimulus package that's 35 million that they is being run by the Department of Revenue Services, and there's no applications involved. They will be reaching out to restaurants, hospitality, based upon their revenue. They're looking at whatever percentage reduction and then providing grants to them. But there's nothing a business can do. They just need to wait to see if they're going to hear from the Department of Revenue Service. So that's pretty much what we have on the new stimulus package. And I think that's it for now. I don't think I left anything out. And if I did, anyone have questions on anything, please feel free to ask.
I do. Go backtrack onto Old South.
Yes.
You're right. There's a ton of interest in that for a lot of reasons. But my thought is the right of reversion as it relates to the acquirer of the property having to file and clean up. Can we include their obligation to remove the tires? Because that's a significant amount of money. As part of the, that's going to go out to bid, right? Everybody's going to make an offer.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I think this is something, Randy, that we talk about at RDA because Kelly was waiting for, I think by the time we have our RDA meeting, Kelly will have the quotes for the tires.
Okay, thanks.
And then we can talk about the amount of money and what we think, how we think we want to put it on the market.
Yeah, I'd like to see somebody else pay for it. That's the bottom line.
Right. Right, but wouldn't you have to reduce the marketing value of the land then? I mean, is it kind of apples to oranges? Like if once
it's really not an arm's length transaction. It's different than if it was privately owned, cleaned it up on the market. Now you're talking about a different benchmark for market value. So, but this case is different. Our objective is to get it changed hands, cleaned up, and get it back on the tax rolls. So,
yeah. Okay. So, but we'll talk about that. And the other thing we've done, and I think I've talked to this group about that, is we are in contact with Boyd, the owner of the budding property. And, if we were to get an assessment, they could do the same. He would know what the assessment of the contamination is, and it would be the same for his. So we would share any information we have on our property, and then if we could both sell at the same time, him separately, but then if somebody wanted to buy the whole kit and caboodle, because it's much more attractive with both pieces of property than just one, because they're rather small on their own.
Yeah, well, it's good. We're going to be evaluating all the offers and based on their merits, make a decision.
Right. So more to come. That's why we have a lot.
Any other questions?
I just had one comment since we're talking about stimulus, and this may seem kind of funny, but there is a private company, Barstool Sports, who's created a private fund of money that they're giving out to small businesses So currently the fund level is at $22 million. They've raised privately themselves from numerous individuals and bigger companies, and they're having people just apply to it. And as long as they can keep the fund going, so if you say, hey, we need, we're a restaurant, or they're doing other besides restaurants, and we need $10,000 a month to stay in business right now, you send them a video, explain why you need the money. And I think the only approval process is that you had to be profitable before the pandemic hit. And they're funding those companies and they'll say, as long as the money lasts, we'll give you whatever you request until the money runs out in the fund. And the fund keeps going up because more and more people are donating to it. So actually I just saw, and the reason it made me think of it to bring it up now is I actually saw BrickBox submitted a video to them and applied for it. So, I'll send you the link to it, and you can decide if you want to send it out to the businesses in town just as an optional, place to look for some funds in the next few months. And I have seen them actually fund a couple of other businesses in Connecticut in general too, and because they're based out of New York City too. So
I was wondering where they were based out of. Okay, out of New York. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, send it to
That's a
us.
great idea.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's free
Great
money.
idea.
So.
Yep, that guy Dave Portney, he's made a big name for himself. He's actually been to Connecticut. He goes around and rates.
He's the pizza review guy.
And,
yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good idea. If that's a link people can go on, that we should just send it out to our businesses in Stratford just as another great idea.
As another source. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'll send that over.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great.
Okay, if there's no other question on that, then Mary, we did introduce last month the Shakespeare Winter Market concept, but it's on the agenda tonight, so you can give us an update what's going on with that.
Well, I'm just going to say a couple words, and then I'll pass it over to Karen Doyle, who's been working very closely on this. But when the mayor and I asked Tom Dillon to pursue looking at our farmers market and the current one and getting something on the Shakespeare grounds, in one of the first meetings, we talked about the fact that it would be great to have a weekend farmers market because they do it in cities and it's just such a fun. They do it in some of our other surrounding towns, and it's such a fun idea, and it would be great to be able to utilize that property since every event that we planned this year was canceled. So we weren't able to showcase the property like we would have liked to. So Tom Dillon's done a fantastic job, and Karen has done a great job of supporting him and doing all the legwork. So Karen, if you want to give them some details, go ahead.
Sure. So the first Shakespeare market is going to be this Sunday. I think Tom Dillon has 23 vendors lined up. He originally started with only wanting 8, but now we've gone up to 23. And it sounds like it's really growing legs. Once he promoted it on Facebook, he got a huge vendor reply, 40 people in under 24 hours or 48 hours. So it's really growing some legs. We've got lawn signs all over town. He has live music there. So it's really going to be a great event for the town.
And
What is that?
Go ahead.
What's the date?
It's January 17th. I believe the time is 11 p.m.
And they're going to have it every other week,
from
so they'll
11
be
to
twice
2.
a month.
That's really cool.
Yes, it was a great idea.
Every other bi-monthly.
Karen, would you tell them about the tote bags?
Bi-monthly is every other month, or is it every other week?
Oh, so
bi-weekly, right? Sorry.
Every other week.
Starting on the 17th.
So yeah, okay. It should be publicized as bi-weekly.
Karen, I can't hear you.
We are. Can anybody else hear me?
Now we can.
Yes. Now we can.
Okay, so we're producing just 50 tote bags for our first run to support the Shakespeare market, and we're hoping that people will really get on board to it. The bags are costing us out of pocket $9, but we're going to be selling them for $20 a piece, and the profits will cover incidentals from the Shakespeare market. So if you guys want one, it's a cash only transaction. Come down to the Shakespeare market and we can get you guys one.
And because if it grows, there's things that it will cost the town. Like, in other words, we might need another porta potty, or we might need more public works help. We're just trying to make it be as, we don't want it to cost more for the vendors. And we don't want it to be a burden on the town. So if it can run itself, the health department had received a grant, and they used that grant to fund the signage and all for this, because the farmers markets tend to run under the health department's area. So we're really excited, and it sounds like it's going to be a really popular event, and we feel like this is one of the things that might help people get through the winter in Connecticut, being able to just walk around outside safely and shop and just, meet up with people. So we're really looking forward to it.
Okay. Any questions on that? All right, we'll go on to the old business. I think, Mary, that information on the Westfield production videos, that was distributed prior to this meeting to everyone. Basically, we have depleted the funds that were approved towards that project. So we're at a point now where, and I'll let you go into more detail here, Mary, but our budget is $25,000 a year. We've spent $3,000, so we have $22,000 left. This marketing video project is really our signature sort of, I think, process, what we're doing with our commission, especially given the times we're facing. So we're looking to do 2 more videos. Mary, I'll let you describe what each video would do, with a total cost would be about $13,000. All of that's been distributed this morning to everyone. So we're gonna discuss it and then try to have a vote on it tonight as to whether or not we can move ahead and get people's ideas about this whole project. So Mary, do you want to add to that?
Sure. So, Steve at Westfield has a huge library of material for another video. Lacking some, we need some more footage, but we want to go to the next, which we had agreed that we would do, and that would be what does Stratford have to offer? And we were talking about the fact that, we have the current residents that we want to attract to see this, the potential residents, but then we have a group of people that's a significant, and they are our new residents that came from out of state, and they came here during the pandemic. So they have limited knowledge of what Stratford really has to offer. They probably know about the beach and Roosevelt Forest, but there's so many other things. And so we thought it would just be great to kind of do the same type of vibe as the business one, but have it be more about what Stratford has to offer. And then for the next video, which we had talked about previously, send another one out right before the summer, and really, the golf course, kite surfing, just all the summer activities that Stratford has, our beach, our band concerts, just everything that Stratford has, which we are in regular times. We have a lot of stuff going on. So we'd like to continue to do the 2 more. And Steve typically will charge $5,000 for the first day of photos. But because when we initially marketed this to him, we said, we hope to be able to develop a relationship where this is a whole marketing strategy we're doing, and we want you in for the long haul. He is going to just charge us the $3,500 as if it's a continued, which it is. So it will be saving us a bit of money. And then we discussed the number of hours that they think it would take. And because we've worked with him so closely and he knows the number of hours it took him for the restaurant video and for the business video, he feels as though, and we feel comfortable, Karen and I, that 20 hours of work between the two videos should suffice. So we like working with them. They, they're helpful. They add, they just throw things in because they're looking at this as a long-term relationship. We think they did a great job on the restaurants and on the businesses, and we have no reason to think that they can't do the same for the next two. If you see some of the footage that's out there for the next one, there's some really great footage of our community partners. Yeah, we don't want to wait. We'd like to be able to get started on that next video so it comes out within, by March at the latest, end of February, we hope. So this is really your baby. You guys supported this. There is the 22,000 left, and it gets put back into the coffers again come June 30th, 2021. So if we can do something to support businesses, we're trying to do it financially for them, but we think marketing goes a long way as well. So Karen, if you'd like to add anything, go ahead, because you've been, this has been a team effort.
I just think that we really can't go wrong with Westfield Productions. As Mary said, they're just dynamite to work with, extremely professional, and their end product is just incredible. We look forward to continuing the relationship with them, and I think I'm really excited, especially about the next iteration, the community-oriented. I think that it will go so far in terms of building morale in town at a time when, people are down for a lot of reasons. It will just really be very inspiring. I'm really confident about that.
Is there a plan for delivery of of these videos once they're done? I know we've done it a lot on social media. It's on our website. Are these videos still on our website? Will this be on our website? Are there other ideas to get it in front of people? I mean, that would be the biggest thing, is how do we really get these out there, once they're made.
Karen Doyle, you want to speak to that? I don't know if Karen can hear, but she can pitch in if she hears this as we go along. But we really, worked hard at, getting it where we had like one specific date where it went out: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, on our website. We just kind of threw it, one time, same time, and got it out there. And we got a lot of views, and Karen kept track of that. That's why if she was here, I wanted her to speak to that. But we think we did a good job of getting it out there, and we continue to, as we're creating this next video, to pursue the best way. Oh, Karen, can you speak to this?
Hi, I'm sorry. Full disclosure, I'm at my parents' house. My mother just had surgery, so I'm kind of switching back and forth between taking care of her and walking on here. So as far as our marketing initiatives go with the video, I think our best bet, and this is based off of some information that Colin Kennedy provided us, is to try to boost it on Facebook. And we can also try to capitalize on the mayor's Instagram account as well. So that is how we're planning on trying to utilize social media. I think, Mary, the last time that our video came out, we had a distribution list where we pushed it out to local realtors as well.
And I think Randy provided us that list.
Yes.
Yes, Randy,
Randy
thank
provided
you.
us that list. Yeah. And we have it on our website as well.
Right.
The town website.
Is there any way?
Yeah. And go ahead.
Is there any way we can measure the views? You know, how many? We have it all on the social media, but where's the measuring stick to see? Because these are really great, but I'm interested in hearing how many views they got, how many hits. Is there some measuring stick we can get feedback on how successful the program is?
Absolutely. There is a way, Randy, to quantify it. It's a matter of paying for it, and it's not a lot of money. We're talking about maybe $50 to $100 to try to track how many views we get. And we can actually see what demographics we're heading as well. If there are people within Stratford, if there are people outside of Stratford, age groups, male versus female. So we can.
Well, I think that's very important information.
Yeah, we should work that into the budget. If that is that a one-time $100 sort of fee, or is that a periodic fee?
It's a periodic fee. Every time that you want to boost your Facebook video, you have to pay for it. And the cost ranges from $60 to $100 based on how far wide of a reach you want to attain.
I mean, I'm not a tech guy, so I guess I'd want to know if it's worth doing that, and if so, we should work it into the budget.
I think Colin had said that that's well worth the money when we had spoken to him about it previously.
It is. I mean, so we do a lot of advertising.
I also want to see it on a continuing basis.
Hey, Mark, hold on one second.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Randy, you go first, and then Mark, you were both talking at the same time. So Randy, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I absolutely support that. It should be worked into the budget, and there shouldn't be a one-shot deal. It should be done on an organized, regular basis, so we know how successful our program is.
Mark?
Yeah, so we also do a lot of advertising through social media too. So absolutely. So I think there's two different things. I think what Randy was asking is, can we see actually is what we're paying for? Are people actually seeing it? So that's the analytical side. So yes, the answer is yes, you can see like X amount of people have clicked on it, this age demographic, this location graphic, and then there's the boosting the post side of things, which costs the extra money, which I agree that we should also do that too, because part of boosting any of the posts, also you're able to pick certain demographics as boosting it. So you could say, okay, hey, for these posts, we want to make sure we hit, this age group or males or females or in Stratford, outside of Stratford. You can pick, based on zip code and radius, etc. So I think that's obviously a good thing to do, just versus posting it, because posting it's kind of like casting a wide net versus shooting an arrow at the bullseye and doing the boost, because then you can actually drill down and get to the people that you necessarily want to. Because while it's great to post those and let everybody in Stratford see them, I think the goal of it is to get people outside of Stratford to see it, and maybe even outside of Connecticut also, right? If you're looking for people to move from out of state into state, and like, okay, hey, come to Stratford instead of Milford, or or whatever. So, and it probably would be good to, if we're thinking it's $60 to $100 every time, maybe we say, hey, it's $100 a month, and add another $1,200 into the plan to be able to do that too.
And I have to say that if I can just make a comment, we have these meetings, regional meetings monthly with Dan Onofrio, and he makes sure he passes them along and puts them out there for the BRBC. But my counterparts in Trumbull, in Fairfield, they love the videos. They see them, and so I feel as though people are seeing them, and they're they're almost wishing that they had thought of doing it.
Yep.
Right. Mark, do you have
Okay.
a lot of experience or information that you can share regarding Instagram posting? Are you familiar with that? Maybe if you are, we can have an offline discussion because my focus is mostly Facebook. I'm not that well versed with Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, sure. So what I'll do is I'll hook you up with my guy, my VP of sales and marketing, who handles that for us, and he
Okay.
works with a third party company that does for us, and I can have him share all of the information that how we work our stuff. So, absolutely.
Okay, that would be terrific. Can you email me that info?
Yep,
All right,
absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
So I think we want to have a vote on this tonight if we can. Mary, you agree? We should bring this to a
Yes,
vote?
please.
Okay. So I think if I would ask someone to make a motion about adopting the budget and passing the expenditure of the funds towards this video project. I'm not making that motion, so if someone else would do that,
So
that would be great.
I will actually make the motion. I just want to clarify. So we're looking for to approve $13,150 for this, correct?
And then did you include the
Well,
booth?
yeah, and that's yeah. So
Okay.
and then so I think we should go for. I would like to put a motion to approve the additional video and the boosting on social media. So let's just say for a total of 14,500.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, I'm just going to ask if there's any opposed to this because we're all virtual. So is there anyone opposed to the motion? So I'm hearing none, so that passes, Mary.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate the commission's support.
Okay, so the next topic is the housing partnership update.
Take it away, Jen.
Okay. So I hope you've all seen in your emails at least once, maybe twice or a half a dozen times, a link to a survey about housing in Stratford. So if you have not seen that or have not completed it yet, please take a moment to do that. That was kind of a big thing that we got done before the holidays, agreed on the questions to ask and the information we were trying to gather from the survey, and we have sent that out to various different entities within town. It's also been sent out by Sterling House, I know, to everybody on their list, posted on social media. We're getting a good number of responses, so that'll be really helpful in helping the partnership finalize some recommendations for the plan going forward. Everything else is still on track. We are hoping to have a draft plan completed by April, as was our original timeline. So meetings will be fast and furious over the next several months, but we are committing to getting that done. Mary, anything I missed from yesterday's meeting?
No, Jen, I'd just like to add that the group really has done a fantastic job. To think that a group that came together less than a year ago, and this is all going to be completed within a year's time. And Jen mentioned that the meetings are going to be fast and furious. They have been fast and furious, right? We've had continual weekly meetings on this. And I just have to say it's a great group and they've done a tremendous work on making this happen.
Yeah, it's been a great group of people to work with and certainly helped me learn a lot about the town and what people want and don't want. So very interesting. I look forward to sharing the results of it all with you at a meeting soon in the future.
Yeah, we'd like to see the results. I'd be curious if it's going to come out in summary email form. You know, I'm sure the commission members would want to see that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Mary, I think we covered. Do we cover all of Stratford Strong? Letter C there on the agenda. And
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add is that we changed the name to Small Business Resources because we're doing there's the basic needs that covers the community needs. And so we thought that the name of Small Business Resources more aptly covered what we're trying to do on this leg of the Stratford Strong group. I don't know if Karen Doyle, you want to add anything?
Okay. Very good. There is a meeting schedule. We did distribute it last month, but I believe it's here one more time because we agreed there would be no meeting in August. So this schedule that everyone received is the meeting schedule for 2021 with no meeting in August. So I don't think we have to vote on that. That's just a done deal. That's just the schedule. Is there any other old or new business to come before the commission tonight? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn then?
A motion to adjourn.
Mark? Second?
I'll second.
Jen. Okay, great. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks so